Comfort isn't your enemy because it feels bad. It's actually the opposite. It feels too good. It just feels right. Imagine you get home, you finally have a break, you sit down, and your brain reaches for the safest option. The show you already knew, the arc you've already loved, and the moment you've replayed 100 times over in your head and life because it never disappoints. And that's exactly why it's dangerous. As you get older, free time turns into currency. You don't spend it casually anymore. You protect it as best you can. So when you see the option to choose something to watch, you're not just picking a show, you're deciding what your limited time is worth. And comfort always feels like the smart choice because comfort comes with guarantees. And starting something new just doesn't. A new anime will ask you to take a chance. It asks you to learn the world, the characters, and the rhythm. And in essence, it just asks you to give it attention before it proves it deserves your attention. And when your time feels precious, that deal can feel so unfair at times. And if you do give it a chance and it doesn't hook you quick enough, your mind starts looking for an exit. You check your phone, you begin to multitask, you tell yourself you'll come back later. Most people won't or don't. Comfort doesn't just win because it's familiar. It wins because modern life trained us to avoid anything that takes time to settle in. So you go back. You put on Naruto and you skip straight to him finally landing the Rasengan because you already know exactly what that moment feels like. You will even skip over the parts of Jiraiya dying because you don't even want to feel those emotions anymore. Unless you really need to cry. Some of you may be out there and go, I want to watch Dragon Ball Z, and jump straight to Goku turning Super Saiyan on Namek, getting rid of all those past episodes that actually mattered. Because this still hits you even when you know every second of it. These moments are powerful and they're easy to access. They don't demand your patience, they don't even demand your trust, and they pay you back instantly. But comfort comes at a cost. When rewatching becomes your default, you stop building new favorites. And you stop discovering a new pace in your life, new themes and ideas. You stop giving stories the time they need to become meaningful. And you won't even notice it at first because you're still watching anime. But slowly, the experience begins to change. It becomes less about getting pulled into your story and more about replaying your feelings you already know. For most, they become stagnated. And that's when comfort starts killing anime. Not the industry or the creator, but the way you experience it and feel. Because anime only stays alive for you if it keeps surprising you. Not with plot twists, but with new emotional beats, if you understand what I'm trying to say here. For example, new characters you didn't expect to care about. New moments that don't exist in your memory yet. Comfort blocks those moments at the door, and it doesn't do it in a way you'll immediately notice. It's not even dramatic about it. It's super quiet. And through your small choices, such as one more rewatch instead of one new episode, one more familial arc because you don't have the time, or one night where you tell yourself you're going to try something new tomorrow, and then tomorrow comes and you just don't. You do the same repetition over and over. The worst part is comfort can trick you into thinking anime actually got worse. You'll hear people say it all the time. Nothing hits like it used to. New anime just doesn't feel the same. And I just can't get into it anymore. But sometimes the truth is much simpler than that. It's not the anime that stopped being good. It's that comfort trained you to avoid the exact part of watching that makes it rewarding. Something that earlier or younger you, who initially got into this genre, loved. I mean, the early episodes of an anime, the unfamiliar tone, the moment where you're not sure yet. And when you get pushed through that moment, modern anime can hit just as hard as it used to back in your day. And honestly, a lot of these newer animes hit harder than anything I've ever watched before, because they're doing things older shows never even tried or even had the opportunity to. I mean, look at Frieren Beyond Journey's End. One of my favorite animes of all time. And what's funny is this is brand new, and it didn't grab my attention straight away. It took a while for me to even give it a chance, but when I did, the stillness of it just encapsulated me. With Frieren standing at Himura's funeral, realizing too late how much time matters when you're the one who outlives everyone. And I think that's one of the greatest things about anime and watching new things, reminding us of the lessons that it teaches. I mean, that slow realization that only works if you're actually willing to stay with a show. And then we have anime like Jujutsu Kaisen, which may not be my favorite, but does some things a little different. It gives you a spectacle and shows you what it really costs to get there. I mean, there's a shift after the Shibuya arc where victory stops feeling clean, where consequences really truly begin to settle in, and where you can feel the weight in Ryuji's face because he can't pretend this is a game anymore. That kind of impact doesn't happen in the first 10 seconds. You have to keep going along the ride, in essence searching for the One Piece. And you know what's great about it? Reliving these feelings in newer anime that you've never watched before makes the ones you used to watch feel even better. Another perfect example would be Chainsaw Man. which probably is the strongest example of comfort being the wrong direction. It refuses to behave like your normal shonen. It's so awkward and raw, sometimes quiet, in the exact moments where you'd expect music and speeches. Like Deji sitting in silence with power, where the scene doesn't explain itself, he just sits there and lets you feel the emptiness underneath the surface. If you're half watching this, you're gonna miss so much. And there's one anime I do want to talk about that probably we'll never get to see more of, and that's Cyberpunk, Edge Runners. And this anime just proves you can destroy the industry with a short amount of time. David truly doesn't get a safe ending. He doesn't even get the comfort of maybe things will work out. The story builds to the final push where he realizes he can't save himself, and that's tragic. So these are the kinds of feelings that rebuild your relationship with anime, or life in general. Just try new things, not because they're better, but because they remind you of what it feels like to discover something again. And comfort truly can't give you that. Comfort can only replay what you already know, and will eventually just keep you in the past, and that really is where the problem lies. So if you feel stuck, if you feel like the anime isn't hitting anymore, the answer usually isn't finding the perfect new show or perfect thing to relive. The answer is fighting the comfort long enough to let something unfamiliar in, to let that new fresh breath of air come through your body.